Joined by NFL Network insider Mike Garafolo, who is at Commanders camp today. Mike, how different will Washington's offense look under Blau?
Hi, Laura. It'll look a lot different. I mean, Jayden Daniels is going to have to get into a huddle, spit out a longer play call than he's used to calling, and he's been doing that this spring, and he's been doing it very well. I mean, that's what the spring is for. The installation, the ability to ingest information and then spit it out, again, unlike he has done before. Under center is going to be a big part of this offense. Laramie Tunsil, the tackle, was talking today. He was asked about running the ball. He says, we're going to run the ball. So this is going to be a different looking offense, but an offense that should help Jayden Daniels, because if you can run the ball effectively and do these things from under center, add a little bit of play action as well, that's going to help the quarterback. And it'll also help the quarterback stay healthy if things are running the way that they're supposed to. And that was a big part of last year. So Jayden Daniels had a really good spring. I was told the 1 week that Terry McLaurin, his number one receiver, wasn't here, was actually his best week of the spring. So they said that was a good sign right there. So everything that the Commanders asked of Jayden Daniels this spring, he has been able to do so far.
Exceptional information from Mike. We love having you on the show there. And Lewis, you hear all that Mike's illustrating. Pretty fascinating to think about some of the differences with what this offense will be. What are your expectations for Jayden Daniels this season?
Yeah, Laura, I expect Jayden to kind of remind us of just how good this young man is when he came onto the scene as a rookie and basically took the league by storm and had people going, hey, maybe this was the number one overall quarterback, in the draft coming out in 2025, which, look, some people thought that. I mean, I had him ranked that way. And I think there's nothing that would really move me off of that position, based upon the fact that last year, he missed time because of injury. And I think it's great to hear the fact that there's going to be an increased emphasis on the run game. They beefed up the running back room with the additions of Rachaad White, Kaytron Allen. I think the passing game, the play-action passing game is going to be something that Jayden will thrive in, because we all know that he's a great deep ball thrower. And, with Terry McLaurin and now Antonio Williams coming in from Clemson, they have speed, they have versatility on the perimeter. I think, to me, the questions are more about David Blau, right? He's a first-time play caller, a guy who really is going to be under the spotlight now. So we'll see how it all comes together. But I expect him to really light it up again this year.
I think you make a good point, Lou, about the offensive coordinator. Obviously, they got to put the players in the right position. But to me, this comes down to two things. One, can you protect Jayden Daniels? And I think with Josh Connolly out of Oregon and Laramie Tunsil, they have two bookend tackles. The offensive line is better. But can they create explosive plays will be the second thing. They got to be able to push the football down the field. The run game is going to be really good. You bring in Rachaad White, you got Merritt, you got Jayden Daniels. You're going to have explosive plays in the run game. But can you get some explosive plays in the pass game? Antonio Williams, Terry McLaurin, Dahami Brown, they're going to have to be able to push the football down the field, because what's going to happen is if you can't push the football down the field, and as a safety, Lou, if you're not concerned about the ball going over your head, you're going to slowly but surely creep down to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to limit the explosive plays in the run game. So they have to become more explosive in the pass game, Laura and Lou.
Yeah.
Well, good thing is Jayden Daniels has an elite arm. So, as long as you have the players in the right positions to be able to succeed, then Jayden Daniels is certainly going to be able to get you the ball. Not to mention, in any given moment he can obviously use his legs, but yeah. But before we jump into it, Washington Commanders fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you guys do that, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof, and it's not about chasing views, it's not about chasing subscribers, it's about being able to create Washington Commanders content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss. So, we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, honest conversations about the Commanders. It makes such a huge difference to watch the full length of the video, and I would really appreciate it. So, yeah. I'm glad Lewis added this, because I kept saying Jayden Daniels is going to remind everyone who he is, and it's a shame that he even has to remind everyone. What people don't seem to quite grasp, because he was so mobile and so electric in that regard, Jayden was such an awesome operator. Right? He was such an awesome operator and troubleshooter, and going off script and all of that, but he was also such an elite decision maker as well. He ran such a high-quality, well-executed offense his rookie year that was more than just his football ability, Like his actual physical abilities. And beyond just usually when we talk about physical abilities, we're always using like their legs and mobility, but just his arm like just as his raw like actual football talent itself. Whereas, if I just said, hey, go play football. Right? Like you're just outside, you're just go play football. We're not worried about, protections or this or that. Like just play football. Just let me see what you can do from a football perspective. Whatever that looks like. Whatever that means, right? Just go do that. And it's just like we saw that, but there was also everything else there. And to me, that's the fundamental difference between what we saw out of Drake May last year, Caleb last year, where everybody was like, wow, what I just saw was great, and it's like the fact that this is how I know what I'm saying is correct, because Drake May was like actually truly in the MVP conversation, right? In a lot of ways he should have won. But yet that wasn't the case for Jayden and the Commanders, and that makes absolutely positively 0 sense. 0 sense. It's indefensible. It's absolutely indefensible. Indefensible. And ridiculous and absurd. And I can't make sense. It's nonsensical. And so it's like that's what you're delivering with Jayden. And so when whoever the guy was who was on the field saying everything that the Commanders asked Jayden to do, he's been able to do it. I got laughed at that cause I'm like, well yeah, of course. Yeah, like of course. We talked, I just made a clip and I just read this quote by Frank Reich where Frank kind of said that Geno Smith has like an elite football mind. And it's like that to me is who Jayden is. When you see the decision making that he made as a rookie, when you saw the execution, when you saw the comfort, it's just this is just someone who gets it. This is someone who is already operating at a veteran level. I can't say that about a lot of these other quarterbacks. I couldn't say that about Caleb Williams in year 2. I just couldn't. And then think about even like the problems that Drake May was having in the playoffs, and yet they couldn't solve them. That's why we just kept seeing copy-paste in every single playoff game. And eventually, it just broke. Eventually, it just straight up broke. And there was no solution for that at all. So, Jayden brings another layer here. Another level that we have not seen out of any other young quarterback right now. Not to say that Bo's not great. Not to say that Caleb's not great. Not to say that Drake's not great. It's not even to say that Jayden is even better than those quarterbacks, cause in this immediate moment of time, the conversation doesn't really interest me. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's just have everyone play. Let's see them play each other in playoff games and whatnot. Let's just wait a little bit. Right? It's a lot more fun. A lot more interesting to have those conversations when we've seen Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes play each other a million times. Right? And we've seen what they've all been able to do with different teams and Burrow, Lamar. Right? So, like, let's not get too hung up on that. People get too hung up on that too soon, and it's like honestly, I say like who cares? Right? I actually truly rooting for, especially if I'm looking at this immediate, class. I'm rooting for all of them cause I want them to all be great, and I want to watch them all play against each other. And that's what I want to see. Like that's what's fun. That's what we got with Joe Burrow. That's what we got with Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. This is the new generation of that. So, we want them to be great because it means that we have a lot of really fun Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday we have a lot of fun, amazing, incredible games, and crazy debates ahead of us. That's what I want. The last time these guys played each other, Caleb and Jayden, they did not answer the call. Neither quarterback answered the call. Neither. And I was like, okay. What are we doing? And so, like just is what it is. So, don't get too hung up on who's better, who's this, who's that. But as of right now, I've still seen a different layer of play, a different level of smoothness, a different level of execution out of Jade. And, now, it was his rookie year, which is technically now a couple year, right? It's like we have like a gap year between that. I don't think he magically lost that. Okay. I don't think that's magically gone. Last season was a mess. He was injured, the team was injured. They were just never able to get off the ground. It happens. Such is life. It's a bummer. So, I see no reason why they won't be able to kind of get that all back on track. And then I do agree, right? It really all comes down to is who is David Blau. Who he is as a coach, a coordinator, and a play caller. Jayden went through this whole thing where he said, David kind of knows me and understands me now and this, that. And it was all about David to Jayden. But Jayden also needs to deeply know Blau as well. Like everything that he said that he thinks that Blau is going to him, it also needs to be reversed. Like that's the level of relationship and connection that you need to develop. And so that is something that, Jayden did not speak on. Doesn't mean that it's not there, but he did not emphasize that when he was interviewed or when he was discussing it. He was just very much like, David knows me. David understands what makes me tick. David understands what this, that. And it's like, you need to know all those things about David. Like, about coach. Like that's you need to know those things as well. And so. That's part of this process. That's part of this year. That's part of this season. That's part of the preparation. So, yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, I mean there's certain statements that I want to make, but And I don't know if it's necessary right now. 'Cause I am a firm believer that multiple things can be true. I could even, and this is not what I'm saying. But it's like I could believe that Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Jayden. And again, I'm not saying that. But I could also believe that if Jayden was the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, they beat the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs or something, right? They go on to win the Super Bowl or something. Like I believe that multiple things can be true. Sometimes they can't. Sometimes it's very much like, well, this is the logic. Both things can't be true at the same time. And other times I think many things can be true at the same time. And I'll just say that there are plenty of teams that would have had a better season, a better ending, if Jayden was their quarterback. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. You pick and choose which teams you think that is or which quarterbacks that is. And that comes from his ability to be able to do both. To be able to operate. That to me is ultimately probably what impressed me so much about Jayden. His rookie year. His ability to operate. And it's I still harp on about Caleb, right? And Caleb, and it's something that Bo needs to improve as well. And even more experienced quarterbacks in general. I'm obviously lingering on that because it's the same class and they brought them up. But it's not just that, 'cause like I said, I'm not prepared to get to start to do the whole deep dives, that I've done with like Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes in terms of like who's actually better. Let me explain why. It's like, let's just have all of these quarterbacks actually get some consistent years with some consistent teams under their belt. Let's see multiple playoff runs. Like we got to just wait to kind of gather this all together before we start doing that type of stuff. It'll be too annoying honestly to try it because it's too messy. And not in the fun way. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jayden Daniels, Washington Commanders? Is he going to remind everyone who he is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to be a part of it. I want to be able to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.